everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. So in this video I'll be showing you guys how you can make yourself this open shell top. Obviously you guys know we have so many versions of this top, but I just cannot get over the stitch, so I want to make more and more. And this one comes with a different neckline, so I think that is giving you another different vibe from the ones we already have done, and also comes with a different sleeve. So if you haven't seen the other videos, check them down in the description. I'll add all the videos down in the description with this pattern. And it's actually basically easy. Like if you already made one of those, this should be easy cake for you. Like you're just gonna go through it very easy. Love the way it came out. I love the color. The materials that I actually used are medium weight yarn as usual, a measurement tape, a 2.5 millimeter, 3.5, no sorry, a 2.5, a 3 and a 4 millimeter crochet hook. Along the way you'll see the reason why I actually used 3 different crochet hooks. It's very easy, so let me know what you guys think. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section. I'll definitely make time to answer the questions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to join my family and give me a big thumbs up as well if you like this video. All the materials and all the stitches that I use will be down in the description box in case you want to go and cross check. I did use a total of 200 grams for the top, and for my size it's medium to large. So if you're making a size smaller, then you need less, and if you're making a size bigger, then you need more. Let me know what you guys think, and I guess I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye. So these are the materials. I have a measurement tape, a medium weight yarn. One ball is actually 100 grams, and I did use 2 of these. I have my crochet hook. I have 4 millimeter, 3.5, and then a scissors. Yeah, so to get started with this project, we are using a waist measurement. The reason why we're using a waist measurement because we want to make sure the top fits the waist, so it's not an oversized top. It's going to fit the waist perfectly. So you're going to go ahead and take your waist measurement and you're going to go ahead and divide that by 2. So in my case, my waist measurement is currently 30 inches. So when I divide that by 2, it's going to give me a total of 15. So I know I'm going to go ahead and make a chain that is 15 inches long for the front panel, and then I'll do the same for the back panel as well. But we are going to get started with the back panel first. So with my 3.5 millimeter, I'm just going to make a slip stitch, and I'm just basically going to chain a chain that is 15 inches long, but I'm going to do this in multiple of 7. So basically 7 7 7 7 until I have a total of 15 inches chain. So right here I have my 15 inches chain. I'm going to make sure that this is not stretched. So when it stretches, it actually goes above 15 inches, but when it's not stretched, it's basically 15 inches. So now that I have my total chain, I did chain a total of 63. So I'm going to go ahead and chain an extra 5. 3 4 5. So we are going to start working on the chain, on the V stitch. So after a total of 5, I'm going to go right into that 5th chain with a double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over, and right from the hook I'm going to count 1 2 3 4 5, and into this 5th I'm going to go with a double crochet right into that space, and I'm going to go ahead and chain 4. From here on I'm going to count 7 chains, and I'm going to skip 6, and into the 7th I'm going to go with a double crochet. So basically I'm going to go ahead and count 1 2 3 4 5 6, and right here into the 7th chain I'm going to go with a double crochet, chain 3, and I'm going to go with another double crochet all in that same chain. And this right here is a V stitch. So basically double crochet, chain 3, double crochet is the V-stitch pattern in this in this pattern, sorry. So from here on, I'm going to go ahead and chain 4 again, skip 6 chains, and into the 7th I'm going to repeat a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. So right here I'm going to go 1 2 3 4 5 6, and into the 7th I'm going to go with a double crochet, a chain 3, and a double crochet, all in that same space right there. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this pattern until I have the last 7 chains, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the next step is and how we're going to end off this pattern. So you're basically going to go ahead and chain 4, skip 6, and into the 7th you're going to go with a double crochet, chain 3, a double crochet. So I'm gonna get that done, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the next step is. So right here I have my last set of 7 double crochets right in this space. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and chain 4, and instead of doing the double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did at the beginning. So remember at the beginning we did chain 4 and we went right into the same space with a double crochet. So this chain 4 is the same as a double crochet, chain 1, and then another double crochet that we did at right after. So we are going to repeat the same, which is basically right into this last chain we are going to go with a double crochet. So instead of chaining 3, we are going to chain 1, and we are going to go right into this same chain with another double crochet. So this is basically what we did at the beginning. So what you do at the beginning, that is what you're going to do at the end of the pattern as well. So to get started with the shell row, we are going to go ahead and chain 3 and turn, and right into this double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, you're going to go with 3 more double crochets right into the same space. Right there. And from here on we have a chain 4 space, so we are going to go into the chain 4 space with a single crochet. So right into this space you're going to go right in there with your single crochet, and right after we have a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, which is the same as a V-stitch. So right into this V-stitch we are going to go with 7 double crochets. So you're basically going to yarn over and you're going to insert 7 double crochets all in the same space, all inside the V-stitch. 2 3 4 5 6 7. So right here we have a 7 double crochets all in that V-stitch. Right after we have a chain 4 space, so we are going to go ahead and do a single crochet like we did previously in this chain 4 space. So from here on we are also going to go into this V-stitch with 7 double crochets like we did previously. So I'm going to go all into this V-stitch with 7 double crochets all in that same space. And right after I'm going to go ahead and slip single crochet in the chain 4 space. And this is how it looks at the moment. So you're going to repeat this up until you have your last, until you get to this double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, and then I'll see you guys at the end. So from here on I'm going to go ahead and single crochet again in my chain 4. That's the last chain 4 space we have. And again, like I said, when we get to the end we are going to do the same thing that we did at the beginning. So at the beginning, remember, we chain 3 and then 3 double crochets all in that same space, which is the same as a 4 double crochet, because the chain 3 is the same as a double crochet. So we are going to repeat the same thing on the side, which is basically 4 double crochet all into this chain 1 double crochet, chain 1 double crochet space. So you're going to yarn over and insert 4 double crochets all into the same space. 3 4, and that basically completes the shell row for this pattern. And to get started with the V stitch row, we are going to go ahead and chain 4, 3, 4, and the chain 4 is the same as a double crochet, chain 1, and right into the same space right here into this first double crochet, we are going to go with a double crochet. And now we basically have a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in that same space. From here on, we are going to go ahead and chain 4, and we are going to work a V-stitch, but this time around we are going to work it in between this 7 set of double crochets. So remember, we did 7 double crochets, so we are going to go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, which is the middle of this 7 set, we are going to go with our V-stitch. And our V-stitch again is a double crochet in that 4th double crochet, chain 3, and another double crochet in that same space. That is basically the V-stitch pattern for this top. So from here on, we are going to go ahead and chain 4, and right into the 4th double crochet in the set of 7, we are going to go with a double crochet, chain 3, and a double crochet into that same space. So this is what we have so far. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this up until I get to the last shell, and then I'll come back and show you guys how we're going to end off this row as well. So right here I'm at the last shell. I already did my last V-stitch right on top of that shell, so we are going to go ahead and end off the row. And again, like I mentioned, we are going to end off the row the same way we started the row. And when we started this row, we started with a chain 4, which is the same as a double crochet, chain 1, and we did another double crochet right into that same space. So to end off the row, we are going to go ahead and chain 4, and right into this last. So right here we have 4 sets of double crochets, so you're going to go in between this last and the second to last with your double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet all into that same space. And that is basically it for the V-stitch row. So you're going to actually go back and forth with your shell row and your V-stitch row until you have your desired length. I'm going to go ahead and do the shell pattern once more. So for the shell pattern, we are going to chain 3 at the beginning, and into this double crochet, chain 1 double crochet space, we are going to go with 3 more double crochets, and that actually just makes up to 4 double crochet, because the chain 3 again is a double crochet on its own right there. And again, into the chain 4 space, we are going to go ahead and single crochet, and into the double crochet, chain 3 double crochet, and V-stitch, we are going to go in with 7 double crochets like we did from the previous row. So right here I'm going to go with 7 double crochets, and into this chain 4 space I'm going to go with a single crochet. So I'm basically going to repeat this up until the very end of the row, and when I get to the end, like I did mention, we are going to repeat what we did at the beginning. So we are going to end off the row with 4 double crochets all into this same space. So I'm going to get that done, then I'll come back and tell you guys what the next step is. So guys, right here I have the second shell complete. So you're going to basically take your measurements. I want mine to be a crop top, so for that I am going to go ahead and do 2 more rows with my 3.5 millimeter. So basically, depending on how long you want yours to be, you're going to take your measurement from under your bust to your desired top length. This is currently at this point, see, ignore my measurement tape again, guys. I need to get a new one. I've been saying this for days. So this is currently 2 inches, so I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more inches, which is going to be 4, and then from there on I'm going to switch my crochet hook to a 4 millimeter. So the switch is going to make sure the stitches actually gets bigger, and it's also way more stretchy, so it can actually fit your bust measurement, because remember, your bust and your waist measurements are not the same, and for most people their waist measurement is smaller than their bust measurements. So the switch between the switch from the 3.5 to the 4 millimeter is supposed to make your bust it's supposed to make the top wider, but then you're not going to increase. The only thing that we're going to do, we're going to switch, but then the stitches are going to get bigger, and then the stretch is going to be it's going to be able to stretch to your bust measurement basically. But if the difference between your waist measurement and your bust measurement is actually wide, so for example, my waist measurement, like I mentioned, is 30, so I did use 15 because we are dividing that by 2, and my bust measurement at this point is 38 inches. So the difference is basically 8 inches, not a big difference. But if yours is way bigger, then I'll suggest you use a 4.5 instead of a 4 millimeter, because then you'll have more room around your bust area, so the top is not too tight. So I'm basically going to do 2 more rows with 3.5, and the reason why I'm doing 2 more rows is because I want my top to be a crop top, which is basically the measurement from under my bust to my desired top length. And then from there on, I'm going to switch to my 4 millimeter, and I'm basically going to do that until I have my desired top length. So you're going to take your measurement from your shoulder all the way to your desired top length, and you're going to take the measurement from your under bust to your desired top length, and you're basically going to switch and then repeat that until you have your full top length measurement. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, and you're going to go ahead and get that done. I will go and get mine done as well, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the next step is. So right here I have my back panel complete. I did a total of 12 rows, which is my desired length. Again, if you want yours to be bigger, then you go ahead and do more longer, so you go ahead and do more rows. If not, then this is the perfect length. This is actually a total of 15 inches, so that is the perfect crop top length for me. So you're going to go ahead and repeat this same step for the front panel. For the front panel, you're going to go ahead and get started with your 3 millimeter. You're going to do 4 rows or even more depending on the length you're going for, and you're just basically going to do the same step, except that you're going to subtract 4 shells from the back panel. So for my case, I did a total of 12 shells. So what I'm going to do for the front panel is I'm going to subtract 4 from the 12, which is 8. So I'm going to do 8 shells. I'm going to start with the same size that I used for the 4 rows, which in my case, but your case might be different. And I'm going to switch to a 3 to a 4 millimeter, where I'm going to do 4 more shells, and I'm going to go ahead and start working on the neckline, which I will come back and show you guys how you can get that done. So after your back panel, just repeat the same steps until you have your front panel, but you're going to subtract 4 shells from the amount of shells you did for your back panel basically. So right here I have my 8 rows complete, and I have the 4 rows because we did 12 for the back panel also complete, but then on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how we can repeat this for the opposite side of the sleeve of the top. So with my 4 millimeter, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and I'm going to attach the yarn to the opposite side of the panel. So right here, I'm going to go right into this chain 3 space, and I'm just going to attach the yarn and make a secure knot. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and chain 4 like we usually would. And I'm going to go right into that same space again with a double crochet, just the usual, right there. And from here, I'm going to chain 4 into this 7th set of double crochet. I'm going to go into the 4th, which is the middle, with a double crochet, chain 3, a double crochet. So from here on, because I have 3 rows right here, I have 1 open, and I have the shell, the full shell. I have 1 half, 1 full shell, and then 1 half. The reason is because I want this to be the neckline. So again, you can put the panel across your body when you have your rows complete so you can determine how wide you want the neck to be. So I am just going to go 3 shells inside, and I'm going to go 3 shells inwards on the opposite side. So this is going to be how wide my neckline is. So depending on how wide yours is, you're going to go ahead and put that across your neck and then just determine how wide you want yours to be. So from here on, to end off, because we are going to go back and work this for 3 more shells, sorry, I am going to end off just the same way I started. So instead of going into this next shell with double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, I am going to go with a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet instead, because that is what we did for the beginning, and that is what we are going to do on that last stitch before we go back to the opposite side of the row. So I'm going to go ahead and chain 4, and into this fourth chain in this group of 7, I'm going to go with a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet all in that same space. This is basically going to give your work a firm end, just so you don't end up with a shell, because ending up with a shell will make it difficult and will make the neckline look funny. So from here on, I'm going to chain 3. And what would you usually do in this case is we are just going to go into this double crochet, chain 1, double crochet with 4 double crochets, because that is what we are going to do at the end. So whatever you do at the beginning, you're going to do right at this end as well. So I'm going to go in with 3 more, because the chain 3 is the same as a double crochet right there. I'm going to go ahead and single crochet in my chain 4 space, and right into this double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, I'm going to go with 7 double crochets, because that is going to be a shell. And from there, I'm going to go into this chain 4 space with a slip stitch, a single crochet, sorry, and I'm going to go into this double crochet, chain 1, double crochet with 4 double crochets just to end off the row. 3, 4. So right here I just have 1 complete, and again, because I did a total of 12 shells in total for the back panel, I want to make sure that this front panel actually has a total of 12 shells as well, so it can actually balance off with the back panel properly. So I'm going to repeat this for 3 more shells, because now I have 9 shells. And again, to get started, you're going to chain 4 as usual, and you're going to go right into that same space with a double crochet, chain 4, and right into this group of 7, you're going to go into the 4th with a double crochet, chain 3, and a double crochet all in that same space. And because we are going to end off this row right here, we are going to chain 4, and we are going to go with a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet instead of double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, because we are going to end it off there. So to get started with the next row, I'm going to chain 3, turn, and I'm going to go right here with 3 more double crochets, which is the same as the 4 double crochet in total. And right into this chain 4 space, I'm going to go with a single crochet, and into this chain 3, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, I'm going to go with my 7 double crochets all in that same space. Into my chain 4 space with a single crochet, and to end off the row, I'm going to go right into this double crochet, chain 1 double crochet with 4 double crochets. Right there. So that is also complete. So I'm going to continue this for 4 more rows, and then you can go ahead and do the same thing on the opposite end, so you can have this complete, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the next step is. So right here I have my front panel complete. I am going to go ahead and grab my back panel, and we are going to attach these two together. And for that, you're going to need your armpit hole measurement to determine how wide you want the armpit to be, or you can also put this across your body to determine how wide you want it to be. You can do both. So what I'm going to do in my case, because I already know my own size, so I am going to grab my measurement tape just to determine how wide I want mine to be. So mine is going to be 14 inches in total. So when I divide that, that will give me a total of 7. So I'm going to go ahead and take my measurement tape, and from the top I'm going to make sure I measure how long 17 inches is, but I am going to stretch this instead of just taking the actual measurement when it's on stretch. So I'm going to stretch this a bit. So 7 inches is going to be right here when it's stretched. So you're going to stretch it a bit and just see right there when it's stretched, that is 7 inches. So I know this is going to be where I'm going to start single crocheting to the bottom. So from here I'm going to take my crochet hook just to mark this area, and I'm going to grab my yarn, and so I'm going to go ahead and grab my yarn. By the way, I'm using the 3mm to single crochet both of the panels together, and I'm just going to make a secure knot. And I'm going to go ahead and single crochet these two panels together for. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut off my yarn, and right here, as you can see, I have this side single crochet together. So I'm going to go ahead and just like check. So I'm going to go ahead and just check how many shells that I did single crochet together, so I can have the same amount on the opposite side. So basically from here, I know I'm going to start single crocheting that side together right from this shell downwards. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side as well. So from here downwards, I'm going to single crochet together. So now that I have these two sides single crochet together, we are of course going to go ahead and do the same thing on the top. So this is basically, you're just basically going to align this panel to the opposite panel, and you're going to go ahead and single crochet up until the very end right there. And of course you're going to repeat from here to the opposite end. So I'm going to get that done, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the project looks like this far. So right here I have everything single crochet together, so I'm just going to go ahead and sew in all the loose ends and cut them off. Again, you can leave the sleeveless. I think it's beautiful without the sleeve, but because I am a sleeve babe, I've always been, I am going to go ahead and add some sleeve to this. So I'm going to turn this over. So this is what it looks like when we have everything single crochet together. So I'm just going to go ahead and straighten this off, making sure the seam is actually laying well and flat on the shoulders as well. The opposite side. So guys, this is what I have going on. So I decided to go for the sleeve. I wasn't sure what to get done, so I decided to do the sleeve, one side of the sleeve first, so I can come back and show you guys how you can get that done. Because when it comes to sleeve, I'm just so indecisive. I don't know what to do. I'm always confused, and I always end up changing the actual design that I have in mind. But this is what I have going on, and this is what it looks like. So for the sleeve, I did switch between crochet hooks. I started with 4 and went to 3, and then I ended the project with 2.5. But it's easy, you don't have to it's not difficult. Basically, you're just going to switch your size, and then that's it. So to get started, I'm going to start with my 4mm, and I'm going to just take my yarn, and as usual, I'm just going to attach my yarn right underneath the seam area, which is going to be right underneath the armpit area. So I'm just going to attach my yarn, and then I'll make a secure knot. And from here, I'm just going to go ahead and single crochet in every available space. So I'll just suggest you actually count how many single crochets you're doing, so you can do the same on the opposite side. But I'm basically just going to insert my crochet hook and pull, and then I'm going to go ahead and just single crochet in every available space, and then I'm going to make sure I count, so you can do the same amount on the opposite end of the sleeve, sorry, on the opposite side of the sleeve. So I'm just going to go ahead and single crochet in every available space all around this area of the sleeve, the armpit area, and then I'll come back and show you guys where we can start with the shell. So coming right at the beginning where I actually attached my yarn, I'm just going to go right into that space with a single crochet, and I usually just go into the first single crochet with a slip stitch just to end off that. So this is how it looks after the row of single crochet. So now we are going to get started with the shell, and again, just the way we did the both back and front panel, we are going to do the same pattern. So you're going to go ahead and chain 4, and right into the same space you're going to go with a double crochet, and this is just a basic double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in that same space. So for me, I'm going to chain 4, and I'm going to skip 6 single crochet in this case, and into the 7th I'm going to go with my V stitch, which is double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, and into the 7th I'm going to go with a double crochet, chain 3, and a double crochet, all in that same space. From there I'm going to chain 4, skip 6 double crochet, and into the 7th with a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, 3 4 5 6, and into the 7th a double crochet, chain 3, and a double crochet, all in that same space. And I'm going to repeat this up until I have the last set of 7 double crochets before I get started with the next row. So coming right here, I have 1 2 more single crochets. I am not just going to go ahead and chain 4, and right into this chain 4 space I'm going to go into the 3rd chain with a slip stitch just to end off this row. So because we are going to be working in rounds, and we're not turning around, we're just going to work all around the sleeve, I am going to start the next row with a chain 3 and a 3 double crochet, all into that double crochet, chain 1 double crochet space. So that is how we are going to start the row right there, and into the chain 4 space we are going to go with a single crochet, and into this chain double crochet, chain 3 double crochet space, which is the same as a V stitch, we are going to go with 7 double crochets, all in that same space like we did for the other panels as well. All in that same space. From here I'm going to go ahead and slip single crochet into the chain 4 space, and I'm going to go ahead and do another 7 double crochet, all in that V stitch. from here I'm going to go ahead and single crochet again, and I'm just going to repeat this pattern up until the very end of this row, and I'll see you guys when I'm at the end so we can end off the row together. So coming right at the end of the row, I have my chain 4 space right before I end of the row, so I'm going to go right into the chain 4 with a single crochet to end that off, and I also will go into the chain 3 space. Remember we chain 3 at the beginning with a slip stitch just to end off this row. So right there we have the row end. So now we have one shell complete. So again, we are going to start the row with the same way we started the row before this row. So we did chain 4 double crochet, which is the same as double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, and afterwards we did a chain 3 and 3 double crochets only in the same space. So you're basically going to start and end of the row like this, and you're going to work your V-stitch, your shell stitch up until I think I did a total of 5 rows, 5 shells, sorry. 1 2 3 4 5. Yes, so I'm basically going to repeat the shell with my 4mm for 5 shells, and that should be long enough to get right on top of my elbow, and from there we are going to switch to a smaller size just to make the stitches a bit tighter so they can fit well around the rest of my arm area. So I'm basically going to repeat the shell pattern, which is chain 4 in this case, a double crochet all in that same space, chain 4, and I'm going to do my V-stitch into the set of 7 double crochets. So right into the 4th I'm going to go with a double crochet, chain 3 and a double crochet all in that same space, chain 4, and into this set of 7 double crochets I'm going to go with a double crochet in the 4th, double crochet with chain 3 and a double crochet all in that same space. So I'm basically going to repeat this until I have a total of 5 shells with my 4mm, and then I'm going to switch to a 3.5mm from a 3mm. Hope you guys can see. I'm going to switch to a 3mm, and I'm going to do that for a few more shells, I think. Let me check. 5 1 2 3, and I'm going to repeat that for 3 shells with a 3mm, and then lastly I'm going to switch to the 2.5mm, and I am going to repeat that for 3 shells, and then I'll come back so I can show you for 4 shells, sorry. So basically I'm going to repeat that for 4 shells. So you have 5 shells of the 4mm, 3 shells of the 3mm, and then 4 shells of the 2.5mm. So I'm going to get all that done, and then I'll come back and show you guys how we can end off the sleeve with the ruffles that I added to the sleeve. So right here I have my shells complete. Again, I did 5 rows with the 4mm, 3 with the 3mm, and then 4 with the 2.5mm. So now we are going to go ahead and end off the sleeve with the ruffles that we did, and it's pretty actually easy. So the length at this point is 13 inches, but this again stretches all the way, so keep that in mind. So from here on I'm going to go ahead and just start my double crochet row, but we are going to go ahead and increase with 3 double crochet in each available space. So I'm going to go ahead and chain 3 in this case, and right into the same space I'm going to go with 2 more double crochet, and into the next double crochet, which is this one, I'm going to go with 3 double crochets all in that same space. So coming to the end of this row and to get started with the next row, I still have 2 more space available right here. So I'm going to go in with 3 double crochet in each space. Like I said, you want to make sure you add 3 double crochet in each available space all around the sleeve. So right here I just finished my last 3 sets of double crochet in the last space. So I'm not going to slip stitch right into this chain 3 space. I'm going to go right into this last chain. So remember we chain 3 at the beginning. I'm going to go right in there with a slip stitch just to end off the row. And to get started with the next row, I'm going to go ahead and chain 3, and from here on I'm now going to go ahead and just add 1 double crochet in every double crochet. So make sure you don't skip any. So I'm just basically going to go all around the row with 1 double crochet in every double crochet that we did from the previous row. And then when I get to the end of the row, I'm going to slip stitch into the chain 3 space, chain 3, and repeat the same step. And I'm going to do this for a total of 4 rows. You can do this as long as you want. I am just going to stick to 4. So I'm going to get that done, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the next step is for the top. So right here I have my sleeve, both of them complete. I am going to go ahead and just do a single crochet around the edge of this top, the bottom side of the top, just to add, because these are actually chains, so I want to make it a bit solid. So I'm just going to grab my yarn and attach it somewhere around, usually just attach it around the same area, so it's easier for me to know when I'm going to get started and end off the particular row, depending on how many rows you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my yarn and make a secure knot. And from here on, I'm just going to go ahead and chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet all around the edge of this top. So I'm going to chain 1, and right into this chain I'm just going to go in every chain with 1 single crochet, just again to make sure the edge of this top is solid and it's not just with a chain. That's the reason why I'm going all around with single crochets. Again, this is also optional, so you don't have to do this, but I just find it easier and neater when you do this. So I'm basically going to go all around with single crochets around the edge of this. If you're coming at the beginning, I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch, single crochet my last single crochet, and slip stitch right into that first single crochet I did. So you can go ahead and do another row if you want to. I think I'm going to go for 1 more, so I'm going to chain 1, and I'm just going to go ahead and single crochet the same way I did all around, and afterwards I'm just going to slip stitch in that first chain 1 I did, in that first single crochet, sorry, I cannot talk. So afterwards I'm just going to slip stitch into the first single crochet, and I'm going to cut off my yarn and sew in my loose end. And that is actually it for this project basically.